Hey everybody, Travis Clater here. I'm the owner of TC Strategic Communications. And as we're all trying to be flexible and evolve to this new normal, I'm doing the exact same thing. My office was in use. And so I'm out here with one of my horses today, Mikey, who's going to help me bring you some of today's strategic thoughts. And let me start by saying that there's never been a bigger need for meaningful communications than the position that we're in right now. In fact, the foundation of managing a crisis effectively is meaningful communication. What makes this different is it involves you, it involves me, it involves everybody. This is a global crisis that impacts each and every one of us. And there's a stat out there that states something like half of the businesses worldwide don't have a crisis communications plan. Now, even if that's close to correct, that means there are a lot of businesses who didn't think they were ever going to have to deal with a crisis. And surprise, here you are. And if you didn't have a plan coming into this, the chances are you now know the value of being prepared. But as we all try and evolve faster than this crisis is evolving, I want to bring up one crucial element. That is, it's not too late. It's true, the time to make a connection with your audiences and create advocates isn't in the middle of a crisis or when you need them to do something for you, it's in advance. But there are still times and ways there's still time and there's still ways to create meaningful connections and communicate with your audiences in meaningful ways. And if you do, you're setting yourself up for success when we start to come out of this crisis. And we will start to come out of this crisis at some point. There will be an end to it. And yes, things will have changed and the way we communicate will have shifted, but there will be opportunity to grow. And you have to start thinking of how you're going to capitalize on that now. Now, I'm sure we've all seen some pretty terrible examples of brands trying to connect with audiences throughout this crisis. I, for one, know I've received dozens of emails from brands telling me about their position on COVID-19 and why we're in this together, even though I haven't heard from them for weeks, months, or years. And at best, these get the shift delete, and at worst, they get an unsubscribed, and now they've lost a consumer for good. Let's learn from the mistakes of other brands, but let's embrace the need for meaningful connections and meaningful communication. And yes, there's still time to do it. Just because you didn't have a plan coming into this doesn't mean it's too late for you or you shouldn't have a plan now that we're here. Yes, we all need to be very thoughtful about all of our communications while we're working through this crisis, but you can still communicate in meaningful ways and build affinity and advocates for your brand. People are craving communication and they're craving connections right now. Everybody's isolated and they're looking for ways to connect. I just did another video on how being isolated is actually connecting us more. So people are craving that and they're looking for ways to be engaged. And I just wanted to give you a couple of things. I want to give you a couple of things to keep in mind as you are thinking through your communications over the next several weeks, days, months as we navigate through this crisis. And one is think about your audiences. Think about what they need, how they can help, how you can help give them the connections that they're looking for. So keep your audience's mind and have an audience first approach. Don't sell. Now is not the time to sell things. Now is the time to create advocates, to create meaningful connections. And if you take that first tip in mind, make it about your audiences, it'll help you navigate that. But certainly don't try and sell anything right now. Let's foster relationships. Listen as well as communicate. Communications isn't just about one way sending information from me to you or from brand to consumer. It's about a dialogue. It's about two-way communication. So think about ways to make sure that you're listening to your audiences as well as providing the connections and the communication that they need. And finally, be active. Just don't send one email or one post on social and think that's going to cut it. It's not. You need to communicate in meaningful ways and do it frequently and with intention and be active in the discussions and in the lives of your consumers and of your audiences. And there's your strategic thought for the day. Remember, it's not too late. Communications is a priority right now. So put the resources in and make sure that you're planning for the future. Now, I'll be back again with more videos, maybe with Mikey, but check out the other videos at tcstrategic.com and we'll see you soon.